Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Precision Grinding webinar, live today at Van Geenen with our 81 series. Can you help me, Dennis? The next slide. Well, the webinar is recorded and will be sent afterwards along with presentations. So if you have no time to see the whole presentation, you will get it anyway. You don't have to write. Everything is recorded and we send it to you afterwards. Small agenda, introduction for Timesavers and Van Geenen, the different processes for precision grinding, 81 series machines. We will have a live demo over here at Van Geenen and we have a Q&A. Presentation for the Timesavers machines will be done by me, Piet Koeman, I'm the sales director, and Pascal de Pom, our area manager. So here you see our pictures. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat function. We will answer them during the presentations or when we have the live demo. You can ask questions about the Timesaver machine, about Van Geenen over here. And like I said, we will answer them afterwards. Here we have Bart. Bart, floor is yours.
I'm Bart van Geenen. You here at Van Geenen Grinding and Polishing. Like I said, I'm Bart, and you can ask me everything about the company and our new machine and other things we can do for you.
Thank you, Bart. We will first do a small introduction about Timesavers, and then of course we will talk a little bit more about Van Geenen. Timesavers, who are we? What are we doing? We make a wide range of deburring, finishing and high precision machines. Today, of course, we will talk about the high precision grinding, what we are doing over here. We have 80 years of experience in the equipment and building equipment for the wood and the metal industry. A turnover of about 60 million US dollars with our head office in Minneapolis. Our international head office, where I'm responsible for, is in Goes. We have locations in Minneapolis, in Goes in the Netherlands, in Kruiningen, where this machine is built. We built all our special machine in a separate location. In Taichung in Taiwan, and we have a sales office in Shanghai. We work with a worldwide dealer network, and we are the market leader in the total range of deburring, finishing, and precision grinding. Well, what makes Timesavers unique? We have a complete development and production in-house, broad range of machines with many applications. We have passionate people, and you can see that over here. We are over here at our customer, so we think global, but we act local. Worldwide dealer network, and we can really build for the customer need. So here you see our network. Here you see where we are more or less. If you look at Goes on the world map, Rijssen is, I think, close by. But Van Geenen.
Yeah, we started in 1977. My dad started together with my granddad, and now I'm here. I took it over for 5-6 years back. I'm already working for 10 years here. We try to do every day the things we do better. We develop in our employees, in our machines. During the years, we expanded in the square meters we have now. In new machines, we have approximately 35 employees. We work in a traditional way, where we started in 1977 with the traditional way of polishing, grinding with hand machines. And during the years, we expanded more in machines with white belt grinding machines. One of the first machines was a Timesavers, and we bought and developed in techniques and long belt grinding machines, polishing machines. So we can polish sheets in diverse levels from mirror 7 to mirror 8 and 9, 10. It's something we developed ourselves. Yeah, and we do that on all the main basic materials: sheets, tubes, flat materials. Yeah, everything you can imagine. You can ask us for that. and that in combination, what I said, with a traditional way of working, and yeah, that's the grinding and polishing part. And after that, we have a large clean room department. All the products which are worked here on, but also at other companies, milling or other things they did in the products. They are, of course, always a bit dirty from the oil and working on it, so we can clean it for the customer on a very high level, that all the parts can go to our customers very clean, and especially the high-tech industry, we need on a very high level clean parts.
So that means basically when you make a part over here, when you polish a part, you can actually put it in your cleaning room, you can package it, and it can go into the cleaning room of the customer directly.
Exactly.
That's something what you can do over here.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you said you do both manual grinding, polishing. You can do basically any shape. Is that what you are saying over here?
Yes. Of course, the machine grinding and polishing is flat or round or square, and most of the time, long.
Yeah.
And the manual is, of course, is every shape the customer has. He makes a product of it, a construction or a welded part or a millet part, and then we can grind or polish the weldings away and the surface. Here's a example of it. This is the bottom of a tank, which is our customer welded an extra sheet on it. It's called a pillow plate, and we removed all the weldings and the colors from the welding, and put it to a very nice high gloss polished part.
So how do you get a part like this? You basically get it completely welded, but you start doing the grinding from the 2B or whatever what the starting point is up till the high gloss finish.
In this case, this is a bottom of a tank which has a lot of marks from the forming of the part, which has to be removed by grinding with a rough grit, and then build it up to a finer grit, and then afterwards we start with the polishing to get a very nice product like this. And this is, of course, an eye catcher. We use it for things like this,
yes,
and fairs where we exhibit. But we can explain about this. You get a visual thing as aesthetical, but also it has a very low roughness.
Yeah.
And we reach that in this case by hand.
Yeah.
But of course, this is also in our machines involved.
Okay, maybe later on we have some sheet available. We can show that to the people as well, that to our viewers, what you can do when you start with the 2B plate, how fine you can grind it, and then afterwards you have the possibility over here to do the polishing as well.
For example, yeah.
Okay. You just have a completely new building over here. I think it's only finished like 6 months ago or something like that. Yeah. So that's quite an extension then.
Yeah. We the building we're in now, we have it for 6-7 years, and besides that, we built this year. It's not in the view of the camera, I think. We built a new building, and so we have now a total space of 6,000 square feet.
Square meters.
Square meter.
Yeah, the square feet will be smaller, but okay.
Square meters.
Well, I think that explains quite a lot. I mean, if you look at Van Geenen, I mean, you can basically, my feeling is you can bring anything over here, but you can transport by car, and you can get it in a rough finish, and you can get it out in a fine finish, in a nice number 4, number 3. But also up till mirror 9 or 10.
We distinguish ourselves in especially the large dimensions, and that's something that we attract customers from all over the world, or all over Europe. And now with the new machine from Timesavers, we have things which not is very standard in the grinding world, which is grind sheets on flatness or a certain demanded thickness, and that's and also on special for exotic materials. We can do that here at our company, and that I think and I expect and I have already good contacts about it. Uh, Customers from far away can come here to work on our sheets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but thank you very much. We will continue now. We will have a small swap. Pascal will take over. We will discuss the different processes that we can do with the 81 series. So thank you very much, Bart. I will see you back a little bit later on when we do the live demo.
Yes, of course.
Pascal.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Don't worry, Bart is back. So if you have any questions about Van Geenen, he will be back a little bit later on. Let's discuss the different processes. In the meantime, Pascal will join us. So if we talk about stock removal, what you can do, there are different ways of doing this. We have milling, grinding, and stone grinding. That is how we compare our white belt grinding. Pascal,
Yeah, sorry for
join
keeping you
in.
waiting.
Yes.
Good morning.
Maybe it's good to introduce yourself.
Yes. Pascal de Pont, one of the area managers in Timesavers, looking after a certain part of the world, but related to special machines, it will be a global issue. So,
Okay.
together with Pete.
Yeah, so like I said, we have milling, grinding, stone grinding, and we will do a comparison now. So that is what we want to show you. Where does a white belt grinder fit in this area of the milling and in the stone grinding? So what process parameters will we compare? We will look at surface quality, tolerances, productivity, and some specific energy. I will talk you through it, and then later on, when we talk a little bit more in detail, then Pascal will join in. So don't worry, you have to listen. You don't have to listen to me all the time. So if you see over here, we have the roughness, the visual, metallurgic damage, micro cracks, and residual stresses. That is quite important in our machine. We have a cold process. What you see with the belt grinding, the rough grinding, we will be somewhere with a roughness value up till 0.6. But if we do fine grinding, we can reach roughness values. And Pascal and I, we did it a couple of weeks ago with one customer. We had a roughness value of 0.04, 0.05. Still doable with the grinding belt. If you compare that to vertical grinding, you see that roughness is around 1, and milling is also a roughness around 1. The other disadvantage of milling is that if you have a big mill, you always go under an angle, so you will lose your tolerance, and we will see that a little bit later on. So here you see the tolerances. Well, wheel grinding, yeah, I think everybody knows that is the most accurate way of doing it. Not always necessary, but the wheel grinding gets the most accurate one. If you look at milling, you will have a tolerance of about 0.1, and also you bring a lot of stress in the material. If you look at our white belt grinder, we will have a tolerance about 0.02 plus or minus. Depends a little bit on your starting point and your material. But that's the same, of course, with wheel grinding. Productivity. Here you see the productivity, the comparison of productivity. Where is a white belt grinder strong? That's mainly in the special material. So when we go to the I always call them the titaniums, the aluminiums, the molybdenums. Those are the areas where a white belt grinder has a big advantage compared to milling, and especially if you compare that to vertical grinding with the stone grinder. And the final one in the technical part, it's a specific energy. How much energy do you need to remove 1 cubic millimeter of material? So if you look at wheel grinding, later on we will show you why it is. But you see, for instance, if you take titanium, you need 441 kilowatt hours to remove 1 cubic millimeter. If you compare that to a white belt grinder, we are only at 90, where milling is still a little bit lower, and it all has to do with this area over here. It has to do with the chip chamber. In a wide belt, the abrasive gets a cutting angle. So it's really glued into the paper under an angle. Where if you have a stone grinder, you basically build, it's like your grandmother is making a cake. These abrasives are in all kind of different ways, and you don't have a cutting angle. Also, the chip chamber is a lot smaller, where you can make smaller chips. You will have some rubbing over the material, so then you have to put it under an angle, and then you think that you have a good tolerance, but still you will lose the tolerance again. Well, the final sheet. So if we do the comparison, we say surface quality, okay, belt grinding, fantastic. Milling, actually not that good. Specific energy, the belt grinding is very good. Tolerances, yes, we told that the stone grinder is the best one. The productivity, milling is the highest one. And if you look at the cost, the belt grinding is actually the most efficient choice. Actually, if you really want to test this on your material, don't worry about that. Send the material to us. We have one, not only one over here at Van Geenen, where you can do really production, but we also have one in our lab. Pascal,
So,
I had enough of it.
Finally, we beat it. So the advantage of the belt pipe grinding machine, as stated, you can quickly change from materials, from fine to coarse and coarse to fine. Long lifetime of the belts. It gets cheaper on a wider machine, as here at Van Geenen, 2 meters wide. You have a high productivity, and of course you can process all mixed materials as discussed before. Quality, consistency, and accuracy are of high level. And of course you can process thick and thin sheet material.
So our 81 series. This is the most innovative solution for precision grinding and calibrating that we have, and I think that also in the market.
Just a few customer segments. Well, of course it's very diverse, but aerospace, screen production, machine components, but only also sheet and press plates in a wide range.
Yes, but also architectural areas where you want to make a very nice finish.
Yes.
It's all kind of ways possible. So we said the most innovative solutions. I was talking about the UMS. We have the titanium, we have the molybdenum, stainless steel. It's not an but we can do it as well. Aluminium and all the nickel alloys that you can find, carbon steel, and many more. I mean, we did so much materials that I never heard of.
Yep.
You can actually process it on a machine. As long as you can cut it, then we can do it.
So what makes the 81 series, as we are sitting in front of, unique? So we can have very narrow but also very wide working machines. The accuracy of precision grinding up to 200ths of a millimeter. The grinding belt runs clockwise or counterclockwise. It depends.
Yes.
Quick exchange of the abrasive belts. If you have time, maybe we can show it during the live
Yes,
demo.
if somebody wants to see it, if you have no knowledge about that, well, of course we can show that.
Yeah. LED operation indication. So you can see the status of your machine from a distance.
Normal people can. You cannot.
Shh, don't tell.
Pascal is a little bit colorblind, so he cannot see it. But it's very nice for chief of the production. He walks through the factory, he can immediately see if the machine is running, yes or no. When it's red, of course you have an alarm. When it's green, the machine is running. Everybody wants to see that. When it's blue, waiting for the material, changing materials. So this LED operation is very nice.
Grinding belt optimization to maximize your grinding belt life. Of course, the grinding belts is one of the highest cost of use of your machine. It's integrated in the machine.
Yeah, so the machine basically helps the operator to get the maximum use out of the belt. So if your belt pressure is not high enough, then the machine automatically will set for a higher pressure. When the pressure is too high, then actually the pressure will be reduced. So the machine is helping in the process.
Yeah. Automatic cycle time reduction. Grinding and transporting at different speeds. An intuitive centralized HME control panel. which you can see later on during the live demo, and frequency controlled feed speed.
So we have them in different executions. The first two you see the most. So we have a single head grinding belt, a wide belt grinding belt. You can have a two head, so you're twice as quick, or you have two belts on the machine that you do some rough grinding before, then you do a finer belt. A brush, we have built that. You don't see that a lot in this area, but some people want to get a very nice finish, a very fine finish with the brushes. You can actually do a one and a two head brush machine as well.
Well, different shapes can be grinded, taper, U-shape, and of course flat, which makes sense.
So even people that want to do a taper or a U-shape, you can actually do that in this machine. We can program that in there, and we can make it flexible for you so that you can do that.
Well, like the machine at Van Geenen, WW, we say 2 grinding belts after each other for finer finish, and you can start at a rough grinding belt and finish it with a finer belt in one pass.
Yeah, what we see a lot is that people use one belt to really remove the material and use the second belt to do the fine finish. You don't have to change belts then in the meantime. It's quick, but still it takes time. It's much quicker, of course, to have 2 belts on the machine.
Yep. Well, as stated, brushes, not so common, but for a perfect finish, we say. And a double brush for an even faster, perfect, finer finish.
Oh, yes, that's great. Fantastic. So one or more grinding heads here. You can see that you see somebody here changing a grinding belt. Self-cleaning. One of the main issues what you have in a machine like this, it's a wet working machine. If it's not clean and you leave it over the weekend, the swarf that is in the corners will basically, it will be like concrete. So you cannot keep it clean anymore. We also sell a lot of dry working machines. It doesn't matter so much whether you clean them, yes or no. If you do that after half a year, you still can clean them. Forget that with a wet working machine. So in our design, we try to do as much as possible to keep it clean in the inside, that the operator doesn't have to clean it all the time.
Well, different table executions. As you can see, the machine at Van Geenen has a reciprocating table. It's moving back and forth for really precision grinding. We can also do the roller table version for thin sheet or coil material.
Yes.
And we have the conveyor belt for thicker material in common.
Yeah, so basically, we will help you with the choice there. We have people that do stainless steel, only want to do some finishing. We will advise them to do the conveyor belt, especially on the hot rolled material. If you do thin sheets, and thin sheets, I mean up till 5-6 millimeters, the machine can do up till 12, but then your material has to be perfectly flat. But up till 5-6 millimeters, then you take the roller table. We see this used in the titanium industry, where they use a lot of sheets, most of the time only up till 2 millimeter. Then you take a roller table, and then the reciprocating table. You get the best accuracy of all the machines.
Well, actually, this is a summary of what you have just told, Peter.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, and here we have that with the conveyor belt. You see that the speed goes a little bit quicker. Some people want to go 20 meters per minute because they only want to make a quick scratch on the surface if they take some cold rolled material. Yep. We have a video over here that we want to show you. And that is a machine with a conveyor belt. We have sold this machine to Canada. A customer that we have a long time already, and he worked. Actually, he bought his machine second hand in 2003, 2004, and now he decided for a completely new machine, 1600 millimeter wide. And this machine has a conveyor belt. I mean, we can show you, of course, a machine that we have with a reciprocating table, but we rather do that live over here because we are live over here. And so we have some table in the front over here, automatic centering. Also, this sheet that we have in there, the machine will reciprocate backwards and forwards if you do a hot rolled material. In this case, it was a piece of aluminium. But if you have some hot rolled material, You can reciprocate backwards and forwards, multiple passes, more and more stock removal, the same belt optimization program. We also have an air knife inside, one to keep the coolant and the fog inside, and on the other hand to also dry a little bit the surface of the material. We actually just recently sold one into Poland to the company BTH. They have also a machine like this, but then a 2 meter wide. Also a long-lasting customer.
And as you can see, the handling is integrated as well.
Yep.
In between transport table.
So here you see that we do the multiple cycle thing.
Yep.
We go backwards and forwards. Accuracy is less as what we can do over here on the machine. And then we can do some PVC coating. Again, if you say, this is interesting for me, but my volume is not big enough, you can phone Van Geenen, and Van Geenen can do sheet material as well. You saw that in the beginning. If you have any questions about that, shoot an email to Bart later on, and he can tell you what he can and what he cannot do. Here you see the connection for the main motor. Screen, we have a desk over here. We also have that over here at Van Geenen. We also have a desk control. You can also choose for an arm, a swing arm. Actually, we don't have to show live because we do the grinding belt change over here.
Yeah.
So on the movie it's a little bit quicker, but it takes you more or less 2 minutes, I would say, on a 1600 wide machine. The wider they become, the more difficult it becomes. But it's nothing compared to if you have a stone grinder where you are hours working. Ricardo, our colleague, doing a perfect job over here. We miss him over here today. Job done. And a filter system. Of course you need a filter system for a wet working machine. If you have a dry working machine, you need a dust extraction system. This was still in our factory, so it doesn't look as nice as what we have over here at Van Geenen. But it gives you a very good idea of how it looks. And like we said, we built them to customer needs. This line was had a length of about, well, the tables were 6 meters long.
25 meters?
So 20, 25 meters more or less. That's what it is. Okay, well that's the end of the video. That's also the end of the presentation.
Yes.
I'd like to thank Pascal.
Thank you, Peter.
We go back, we swap over. Bart will join us again, and then we have 2 colleagues over here that will help us with the live demo. So we will swap over now.
I will swap my headset again.
If you have any questions, just put them in the chat. I mean, don't worry if we didn't answer your question yet. We will do that during our walking around and when we are here. So that's all okay. Okay. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, but we walk to the machine. We have 2 colleagues over here, Emil and Wouter. They will join us. So Wouter is van Geenen. And Emil is joining us as well. So we first show the machine, then we will explain a little bit more over here. So like you could see already before, these are the 2 grinding heads. Machine head Van Geenen, 2 grinding heads, 2.1 meter wide. And a wet working system. I mean, you can see that the people use the machine, but it still remains quite clean. If you look over the table, maybe that's a good view that we have. We have Peter behind the cameras over here. Give it a view over the table. We have an 8.5 meter long table over here. So if you want to do a really big sheet, you can do that. Yes. So we have both Wouter and Emil here. Emil is doing the demonstrations in our factory. If you look over here, we have a piece of aluminium that we will process. We have some stops over here. It makes it easier to put the plates on the machine. So we can take them away. Here you go. You can start up the vacuum. In the meantime, maybe it's good to show over here. We still have a sheet over here on the floor. Maybe Bud can help us out a little bit over here. So here we have a sheet on the floor. The starting point. This is how the sheet starts.
Here you see a cold rolled sheet, but of course the machine can process all types of sheets. It's very good at hot rolled and 1D material. But to show you the difference, we start with, of course, a mill surface, and what we can do is, of course, do a normal grid finish to look it good. But we also can guarantee a demanded flatness or a certain thickness who has to be in a min and plus range. In this case, we already we only use grinding bells with the machine. It's a grinding machine, but as you can see, it's already a bit shiny on a bright anneal level, and that's for technical application, not necessary always, but it is approximately an array value of 0.1, and that's a very good situation to go later along with polishing.
Yeah, so basically the idea, what I understand, Bart, is that you take the 2B, then you do the pre-grinding over here, get the RA value to 0.1, and then you bring it over to your polishing machine.
And we go to 0.05 or 2. So in the last step, we need a polishing machine, but the preparation to go polishing is the most important part and the most time-taking part.
Time-consuming. That's why we call it a time saver, but there is a reason why we do this.
So, and it was not the first thing to why we bought this machine, but well, it's a good addition while we save a lot of time on our other machines we can use for other projects. Yes, aesthetical it's good, already a bit shiny, a low array value, and very flat. And when I need a thickness the customer wants, also not a problem.
And no pitting, what I understood.
You remove all the pits.
Yeah.
You see it's very smooth, no scratches or material in flawless. How do you say?
Yeah, flawless. Yeah.
So that's the combination is very very good.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Bart. We go back to the machine, and then we look at the screen. So Peter, if you want to join me, we have the main screen over here. It looks complicated. Actually, it isn't. Wouter mentioned that already in the video that we had before. I mean, we can teach somebody from 0 to grinding in 3 days. Then he is not the biggest specialist in the world, but he can use the machine already 80-90%. So we have here this is a manual screen. We made the program. So the program is prepared over here. And what we actually will do, we will have a starting thickness 14.8 and we will go to 14.0, and that is what we want to show you. Let me see, the vacuum is on. Yes. And then we do the auto start function. And there we go. And now we can see it live. Oh, and you can see the lights also, yeah, sorry.
Yes, now it's working.
Now it's working. So what you basically see now, what we will do, we will only do half the plate. So we will not do the full plate. So that you can see that we are really removing material. I mean, if we do the full sheet, then it's pretty useless. We will remove every step that we go in and that we go out. We will remove 1200th of a millimeter. And it's coming out already. So you can see that we did already something over here. I mean, we use a grid 60 over here to remove the material. Afterwards, of course, you can put some finer belts on there to make it a finer finish. I mean, it's now only waiting until the process is done. And of course, that will take a few minutes. I don't know if there are already questions. Oh, yeah. We have a question over here. How do we know that 0.12 was removed? Okay, maybe it's good to have the camera look over here. If you are quick, then I hope you can see the screen. So the set point is 14.62. You see it going out, and then you will actually close the table. So we will go to a set point of, we have 14.55 now. Oh, we are doing actually 600 per pass. So per cycle we do 12. Yes, that's it. And then we can go back. So the screen is basically telling you your start thickness and your end thickness. That's how we do the steps. So step by step we are removing. So we are now at 14.49. And now we go back 14.43. So 600 every pass that we do. And you actually see now the removal rate that we are doing. And yes, of course, on aluminium that's a little bit easier than what you can do on stainless steel or on titanium. But on a titanium sheet, you normally have to remove somewhere between 1.5 and 3 millimeters, so it takes a little bit of time. Tooling is important, of course. We can show that later on. Van Geenen has a lot of different grinding belts over here. And that's what you need to have. And it's also a little bit experience that you will get over time. Of course, some belt suppliers that can help you with that. And I think we do one more cycle and then we are done. You can see that we already removed quite some material. We are running at this moment 4 meters per minute. Transport speed. You can imagine if you have a sheet of 8 meters, it takes 2 minutes. But there is no other way of doing it. Okay, sheet is done. We removed 0.5 millimeter. Which for the idea is more than enough, I think. Maybe you can zoom in, Peter, on the edge over there. Oh. Ja, leg me maar op. So here you can see we removed 0.5 millimeter of aluminium at the time you were looking at it. I mean, this is a matter of minutes. Okay. Peter, thank you very much. So let's go back. We can give a glance over the machine. We said we did this side already. Over there we have the filter installation on the other side. So over there we have the filter installation. We have the vacuum system, of course. We have over here. It's a beautiful setup. Okay, let's see if you have questions. Oh, the grinding belts. You want to show the grinding belts? So we will give you an idea of the different type of grinding belts. If you see that in the distance over there, you see all the belts hanging out. So there's all kind of different belts. This is the best way to keep your belts so that they hang out. Then it's much easier to put them on the machine. Okay, we go to the table and see if you have some questions, Bart. Then we can go through that one. Oh, kind of materials. So we explained already that what the machine can do, but in types of material. What is your focus there? I mean, you do a lot of stainless steel over here. Will you be able to do the titaniums, molybdenums, and things like that as well?
Yes, we already have good solutions before we had this machine for working on stainless steel. And of course, it's good to go directly with this machine ahead with what we already have in-house, stainless steel sheets. So from day on, we can use this machine. But the focus area is the more exotic materials like titanium, molybdenum, or the types you already said. But what's very interesting is on this machine is that it's a wet process. And of course, as you may know, titanium is very flammable. You cannot grind or polish that on dry machines. The other machines we have here are all on a dry process. So actually, we needed a wet process to work on the materials like titanium. And now we have it, and it's very controlled system with a vacuum system which lays the sheet very tight,
tight and flat on the machine.
On the machine.
Yes.
And then with the wet grinding process, nothing dangerous can happen, and we reach a very nice and smooth finish with a very good array values, very easy to reach. Not we don't have to use the machine on its maximum. It's very easy for the Timesavers to do that.
Yeah, we of course we have already a lot of experience over there in that field. I mean, mainly you want to go to an array that people will pass the bending test. They will call that.
Before we had this machine, I got questions from customers. Can you polish a titanium sheet for me? And I always had to say no, and that didn't feel good, of course. So and now we are able to do that, and also polish it on the titanium. Most of the customers they don't only want a array value, but also polish or grind it on the thickness they only need, because it's not the most the suppliers from titanium they supply a standard thickness, but they most of the time they need something else than what is supplied by the mills. So we can grind it on the thickness the customer wants, because it's for aerospace applications and they need not too much weight, of course.
Yes.
It goes all in the air. So
yeah, will this help you? Will this help you? Because that's also one of the questions. will this help you to expand your business? I mean, we know that you on stainless steel, you are working in Germany already. Of
Yeah.
course, you are working in Holland and in Belgium, Luxembourg. How far will you go? How far will you deliver material to the machines? To
Well,
the customer, sorry.
Well, we can supply to customers all over the world. Has to be, of course, a bit also in with the logistic reasons. Has to be possible, of course, but everybody can come to us. We can deliver all our sheets if it's possible. And especially because this is so not standard. It's very special in my opinion.
Yeah, you are. Well, one is the machine is unique, but you are also a unique supplier. There are not a lot of jobbers that can do this job.
Yes.
Within Europe, and that's I think that will be the niche market for you.
I think it's interesting for companies who have this demand, have to titanium or other special materials, but not such a big demand to buy an own machine.
Mm-hmm.
So I can assist with the grinding of their sheets.
Okay. One of the questions came about delivery time. What's your normal delivery scope? If somebody comes over here with a few sheets, what's your normal turnover in doing the processing?
Our regular jobs, we do it in 1 week, 1.5 week.
Yeah.
But it's also when we talk with the customers, there are a lot of pressure or the customer needs it. We can always discuss it now.
Okay. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay. The question is, can you show us how to change the belt live? Nobody believes Ricardo on the movie, so we will actually do that. Wouter will show that. So we pick up the camera, and then Wouter will show how to change the belt. So there we have Wouter. So Peter, come in. We have, of course, a belt tension. The belt is tensioned on the top side. Peter, you can, if you take the video on the top side. Okay, we push a button on the screen. It will go down. And then we loosen up the bolts on the bottom side. We remove the block. The block is there, of course, for the accuracy. On our standard machines, we have, for people that looked already at more webinars from us, on our standard machines, we have a quick release. These machines are just too heavy, so we cannot do that. So we have a change system over here. Okay, slide off the belt. Put it away. They bring it now to the other side of the building, and that's quite a building, I would say. We put a new belt. I didn't see any stress so far from Wouter, so that's good. Brings it on there. You see the small help that I made over here at Van Geenen. And here you slide it in. We missed it already. Okay. Do the belt tension and we put the block back. Okay, and we are ready. So you see, yes, Ricardo is doing a good job. I think Wouter is doing a great job. So I think it's all fantastic. Well, I think we went in the meantime through all the questions. We just had a small checkup to see in the chat. Don't worry, you can still send your questions over. We will answer them later on. We will pick them up and we will either bring them to Timesavers, where Pascal will pick them up, or we bring them over to Bart, where Bart will send you some information. Maybe it's good to go back to the presentation. There are our phone numbers. And then everybody can see that. So there was quite a group of people interested. I'd like to thank everybody for watching our webinar. I mean, we as Timesavers have multiple webinars, so always look at our website or at our LinkedIn. Like mentioned before, this all the information will be sent to you. So don't worry that you missed out something or that you had a phone call in between. You can watch it afterwards. I'd like to thank Bart, of course, for the time that we could spend over here in our joint effort to bring information to people. I mean, it's also to give information to people.
Yeah, thank you too. I'm happy I was able to show the online audience and explain things. And of course, you can send an email or call me. You can come by here if it's possible, and we can look into your situation.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the whole crew. I mean, we have quite a crew over here that helps us out. It's not only the two of us or the three of us that are here visible. So I'd like to thank everybody that helped and joined in this effort to get the information over. And we hope to see you soon again. And please email or phone us with any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.